Crime, Wine, and Chaos contains adult language and graphic content. Listener discretion is advised.
I don't want to hear any more about anyone blowing anything out their ass, Chaos Kids. I'm Amber.
I'm Naomi. And this is Crime, Wine, and Chaos.
So good.
You know what? Go find yourself a spin cycle.
Oh, such a good movie.
Classic. So good, sister. Thank you.
You're
Hi,
welcome.
How are
Hi.
you?
It's been a day.
It's been a day. It's been a week for me.
A whole ass week. What's happening over there?
I don't even know. I can't even begin.
Oh.
I cannot even begin.
Okay.
What's going on with you?
Thank you for asking. Just my other job, my job that feeds me has just been real. Right. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. I'm just a little bit overwhelmed. Well, I'm whelmed.
You're whelmed?
I'm not overwhelmed. I'm just whelmed.
You're like on the verge of overwhelmed?
A little bit, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like just pushing the envelope of whelmed?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
But that's okay. I'm in my happy spot now.
We carry on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What about you? What's your week been? Why is it cray?
A lot of fires. Just a lot of fires. You know?
I do know.
Mm-hmm.
I do
and
know.
Just a lot of like cranky people and weird shit. Just a lot of interpersonal maneuvering and navigating going on this week. You know, lots of phone calls and text messages and anyway.
Interpersonal navigating is exhausting.
It is exhausting. I'm so tired. Yesterday, I really wanted and needed a nap, and I never got one. And then I had to get up early today because I was working on my story yesterday, and I got interrupted. And the next thing you know, like the day was gone, and I was like, okay, well, I got to get up bright and early today. And then there was more. There's more today, so I'm trying to do all of it at the same time.
Yeah.
And I woke up early and I had this dream. It doesn't matter. I had a dream that I woke up from this morning that just really upset me. And so I'm ready to do this. We are in our happy place. I am so glad to be here right now. I don't think the Chaos Kids fully understand what happens, the magic that happens when Amber hits the record button.
It's where we belong.
It's this like weird bubble focus thing that happens where it's like, and we're just here with you guys talking about weird shit.
Yeah, for sure. I love talking about weird shit.
I know.
Oh my God.
What are you drinking, sister?
Thank you for asking. I'm drinking a Riesling, which is unusual for me. Jade had a girlfriend over this past weekend. And, Jade and her friend, they are 21, but barely. And, when you're that age, you want whatever is like sweet that tastes like a juice box. So, I'm not usually a Riesling drinker, but that's what was open. It's a Riesling from Yakima Valley called Airfield. And I'm finishing that off for them.
For them.
I'm taking one for the team.
Take one for the team. Yeah.
You're welcome, you guys. God.
Okay. Do we have any good of the order business?
No, not this time.
Okay.
You got a crime for me though, right?
I do.
It's a gnarly one.
Well, let's put it this way. It's bad enough. I'm actually going to spare the details because
oh no,
it's not good.
Okay.
But yeah, let's just get into it.
Okay.
I do have a crime for you. I'm going to tell you about Alianna DeFreeze.
Okay.
Alianna Serena DeFreeze. She was born June 12th, 2002 in Detroit, Michigan to parents Damon DeFreeze and Donisha Cooper. The three of them moved to Cleveland, Ohio at some time after Alianna was born, and Damon and Donisha separated. And I'm not sure how early on all of this happened. This is very fuzzy details. I just know that Damon got married to a woman named Watanya when Alianna was 3 years old.
Okay.
Watanya called herself Alianna's other mother, not her stepmother. And the three parents were really close, and they were raising Alianna together.
That's good. That's how it should be.
Yeah. At some point, Alianna was diagnosed with a developmental disability. I don't know the specifics of that. And for middle school, they enrolled her at E-Prep and Village Prep Woodland Hills. Alianna would spend weekdays with Danisha, and she would spend the weekends with her dad and Watanya. Watanya would pick Alianna up from school on Friday and drive her home on Sunday evening. And Sunday, January 22nd, 2017, Watanya dropped Alianna off with Danisha and told Alianna that she loved her. And Alianna said, "I love you too. I will see you next weekend."
Mm-hmm.
The school that Alianna went to did not have a robust transportation program for getting the kids to and from school. So Alianna relied on public transit to get to school and back.
Oh, and how old is she?
She is 14 years old.
Okay.
So the morning of Thursday, January 26th, so 4 days after Watanya dropped her off at her mom's, the day before she would go to her dad's for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It started out like any normal school day for Alianna. After getting ready, Danisha walked Alianna from their house to the bus stop on East 154th Street and Kinsman Avenue. It was about 6:30 a.m., and Alianna would be boarding the first of 2 buses that would take her to her 7 a.m. tutoring session.
Wow.
Alianna was dressed in her school uniform, tan pants, and a white shirt, and she had on a blue headscarf and a black coat with like a hood that wasn't up, like with the she wasn't wearing the hood up, but with like trim, like faux fur trim on it.
Mm-hmm.
As they waited for the bus, Alianna would occasionally hop into the street to watch for the bus. And when it finally arrived, Alianna ran towards the bus, but stopped and ran back to quickly give her mom a kiss goodbye.
Oh, no. It's already breaking my heart.
Oh, when you see pictures of her, oh, she's just adorable. Mm-hmm. So Danisha went on about her day, but she grew concerned about Alianna when Alianna did not return home from school by 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Her first call was to Damon and Watanya to ask if they had, for some reason, picked up Alianna from school that day.
Yeah.
And they were like, "No, why?" And Danisha told them that Alianna had not come home from school. This was alarming to all 3 parents. Danisha called Alianna's school to find out what could possibly have happened to keep her from returning home that afternoon. And that is when she found out that Alianna had never arrived at school that day.
Oh, I hate it when this is the case, because that means instead of possibly her whereabouts being unknown for an hour, they've now been unknown for like 8 hours.
Yep.
Oh, God.
So, of course, Danisha panics. How did she not know that Alianna had not made it to school that day? The school had an automated messaging system that was supposed to alert parents when their children did not show up to school, but a, quote, malfunction meant that Danisha did not receive any such alert.
Oh, God.
Danisha then spoke to the school principal, who, upon learning that Alianna was missing, grabbed her coat and walked over to the Cleveland Public Library to see if Alianna was there.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, Danisha called the police to report Alianna missing. Hours went by, more staff at the school started making phone calls in search of Alianna, and eventually they started canvassing the neighborhood. Police sent out patrol officers and detectives, and a lieutenant was assigned to the case. A detective called the school principal to get more information about Alianna as a student. Who were her friends? What kind of crowd did she run with? And this is when police confirmed that Alianna was a good kid who wasn't late to school, like ever.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely not the type of kid to cut class. And it was really unusual for her to have an unexplained absence.
Yeah.
In fact, Alianna loved school. She would go to school even if she was sick. And her parents just knew something was really wrong. Cleveland police patrol the neighborhoods around Danisha's home and the school, but hours go by. It's well into the night, and Alianna is nowhere to be found. More officers are sent out to help with the search. Even more concerning, the temperatures are dropping and it's starting to snow, while the police are looking everywhere from stores to abandoned houses.
I'm sorry, what month did you say this was?
It is January in Ohio.
Oof. Yeah.
Alianna's parents could not sit around doing nothing, so they called friends and family to help them go out and start searching while also putting up flyers everywhere they could.
Yeah.
The police are trying to trace Alianna's cell phone, but it had been turned off since the day before. They examined her phone records and her social media, but they found nothing strange or suspicious there, and none of the hospitals had admitted anyone resembling Alianna's description. Police contact the local news stations to ensure that Alianna's face and missing status is shared on the news, hoping to enlist the help of the public in locating her. Knowing that the last place she was seen was on a city bus, they begin the process of getting their hands on the video footage of the CCTV cameras on the city buses that Alianna is known to take to get to school.
That's smart.
On the surveillance footage for the first bus Alianna takes, they see her get on the bus at 6:41 a.m. and take a standing spot near the front of the bus. She doesn't seem to be in any danger. Everything looks normal.
Mm-hmm.
5 or so minutes later, a young man gets on the bus and stops to chat with Alianna. They are smiling and talking, and they move a little bit farther back to sit down together and keep talking, like in some seats. They're laughing. They appear to be friends. All seems well. 10 minutes of riding in total, and Alianna gets off the bus alone. She is now about half a mile away from the school. The bus also has an external camera, so they start reviewing that footage to see if they can find anything that would indicate what may have happened to Alianna after she got off the bus. She makes her way down the sidewalk and across the street to the corner of 93rd and Kinsman as the bus drives by. This is where Alianna catches her second bus, right on this corner. This area of town is a bit rough, and the police have concerns that knowing that she was there alone.
Yeah.
They review this external footage extensively to scrutinize everyone else that is seen around Alianna at this point. They do identify a man in a white coat that looks like he may have been following her as she crosses the street. They recognize the man as someone that was on the same bus as Alianna and got off after she did at the same stop. Then they go back to the interior footage to look further into the behavior of this man on the bus to see if there's any indication that he was focused on or targeting Alianna at all.
Mm-hmm.
He was sitting right behind her on the bus and is identified as a possible person of interest in the case.
Okay. And it's like early morning, so is it still dark out?
Yeah, it's dark.
Ugh.
Or like I think it's like the sun is about to come up.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But they still need to determine if Alianna made it to her second bus
Mm-hmm.
and if the man in the white coat followed her. So they go digging into the footage from the second bus and they see Alianna get on that bus as well. So she did make it to her second bus.
That's good.
The guy in the white coat was not on this bus. So he's ruled out. Like, well, okay, never mind. Wasn't that guy. Normally, Alianna would get off the bus at a stop almost directly in front of her school. But this morning, she gets off a stop or two early at the corner of 93rd and Bessemer. None of her friends and family have any insight into why she would do that.
Yeah.
No clue.
Like maybe somebody on the bus was bothering her or...
Maybe.
That is strange. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Regardless, now they have their current last known location for Alianna. So they send a bunch of officers to the area to focus their search in and around that spot. And they start searching street by street. No one around there has seen Alianna. 3 days of searching without a trace of Alianna after she got off the second bus when the police reach a row of abandoned houses on Fuller Avenue around 2 blocks from her last sighting. In one of the abandoned houses, officers found a trail of blood on the floor of one of the rooms.
Oh, no.
Following that into another room, they see some clothing and other personal items in that room, and they also find some tools that had blood on them. Searching further in that room, they discover the body of a young girl crumpled in a corner.
Oh, no.
She was naked except for her socks and had wounds to her head. There was a lot of blood and a lot of injuries on her body. The scene was gruesome and disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
The body was unidentifiable, so based on the clothing and personal belongings found with the body in that room, it is assumed to be Alianna, but the medical examiner will need a few days to confirm that.
Oh, my God. This poor baby.
The autopsy confirms on the 2nd of February through dental records that the body was Alianna. Alianna had been viciously sexually assaulted. Clearly, her death was a homicide. The cause of death could not be determined because she had so many injuries and they were all so severe that the ME could not point to one of them specifically as the cause.
Oh my God.
She had numerous stab wounds and blunt force injuries all over her body. Those tools were all used on her.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This.
Like, I literally won't even go into
No,
more
please
detail
don't,
than that.
because I will get nauseated.
It's so bad. If anybody wants to know, you're welcome to go look on your own. But I'm not. It's really bad.
Yeah. God, the best that you can hope for in those situations is that she passed out,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. The crime scene was thoroughly processed. All evidence was sent to the crime lab. In the meantime, police officers hit the streets to find the murderer, scouring for clues. It turns out there are a bunch of businesses and a church in the area with surveillance cameras.
Okay.
The church camera, well, there's two. So they start with these two cameras at the church. And one of them points at, must be 93rd. I think 93rd is the main drag because she got off at 93rd in Bessemer and just kept walking up the street. So I think she's walking up 93rd, which is like a main drag. And then the named streets are the cross streets into the neighborhoods.
Okay.
The Bessemer would be a cross street. So the next street is, or two streets up, is Fuller.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the cameras on the church faces, like, kind of just points down at the sidewalk of 93rd. So you see this section of sidewalk kind of up to barely the corner of Fuller and 93rd. And so they look at that footage first, and they can see, they start the video review at 6:53 a.m., which is the time that Alianna got off the bus. At 7:13 a.m., they pick up an image of someone walking up that sidewalk that looks like it's probably Alianna.
Okay.
So she comes into frame bottom left and moves up the frame towards top right of the sidewalk because it runs right. The backpack she's wearing has this distinctive reflective strip across the middle that matches her backpack. So that's how they're like, that's probably her. That looks like it's her. But the video is really grainy, especially as she gets further away. They can see someone, what seems to be a man, approach her just as she's about to reach the corner. And she takes a big step back. Like, whoever this was made Alianna really uncomfortable. Like, she kind of turns to face him as she steps back. And then she turns and keeps walking. And the figure kind of stands there, but the footage is so blurry at that distance. And then the snow is also starting to pick up that making it's impossible to get any kind of picture of this man. Alianna disappears out of the frame, like she's about to cross that street at that corner. And then the man follows her.
Oh God, that's so creepy.
So the second camera they get footage from is the church parking lot. So the parking lot footage is from the back side of the building, more in the center of the building is where the camera is. So most of the frame is filled with an empty parking lot. And 93rd is like the left-hand side of the frame, and Fuller runs along the top of the frame.
Okay.
Right? And you can see Alianna's legs as she walks the sidewalk. You basically see the same scene we just saw from the other camera, but from this other angle.
Okay.
Right? So you see her legs at the top left of the screen, off in the distance on the sidewalk, and you see the interaction from this angle. And then you can see Alianna walk away from the man. You can watch him follow her. And then after she crosses Fuller, he appears to grab her and start walking with her down Fuller, like left to right at the top of the frame.
Oh God, you can see him grab her.
Well, the footage is so grainy. It's really hard to see the details. Like, you can just make out two figures walking together on Fuller towards the abandoned house where Alianna's body was found.
Oh my God.
So police really need to identify this guy. So they go looking at footage from earlier to see if he comes into view prior to this encounter with Alianna. So earlier that morning, it's not snowing and the image is crystal clear. Just after 5 a.m., they see a man walking down the sidewalk, coming the opposite direction that Alianna would walk a couple hours later.
Right.
So he's facing the camera, walking down the sidewalk. And he's bald. He's got his hands in his jacket pockets, and he walks out of frame. And then a few minutes later, he slowly walks back into frame, going back the way he just came from. And he's looking around. He's sauntering, really, loitering. He's just walking back and forth up and down this section of sidewalk, like looking around. Like he's looking for a victim.
Yeah, but not necessarily specifically her because that's not her normal spot, right?
Right.
God.
I think this is very opportunistic.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But there's still no way to know who this guy is. So while this video review is happening, multiple women call into the station to report that they were approached by a man in the same area. And the man they described matched the description of this guy on the video that they just saw.
Shit.
And because the guy in the footage looks like he's literally trolling for someone to snatch, they decide to check records for repeat offenders in the area to see if any of them match the description of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
But this takes some time.
Yeah.
And while the police are searching for the man who murdered Alianna, her parents receive incredible support from the community, and they hold a vigil for Alianna outside the abandoned house where she had been found, and hundreds of people come out to support them. So the police finally identify a potential suspect based off their search of known repeat offenders, and his name is Christopher Whitaker. He's a registered sex offender. In 2005, he was convicted and served 4 years in prison for assaulting a woman and stabbing her in the neck.
We got 4 years for stabbing her in the neck?
Apparently.
Cool. Okay.
A picture from a previous arrest looks very much like the man in the video surveillance. And then the DNA results from swabs taken from Alianna's body comes in from the crime lab, and it is a match for Christopher Whitaker.
Mm-hmm.
So they hand the warrant over to the U.S. Marshals to go track this guy down and arrest him, and they find him at his last known address, and they arrest him and bring him into the station. Initially, Whitaker denied that he had anything to do with Alianna's murder.
Mm-hmm, of course.
Detectives show him the DNA evidence and the surveillance footage, and then he starts to concede kind of bit by bit. Yeah, he was there in that house. He handled some of those tools, you know, like...
What?
But eventually, he confessed. He claimed he was, quote, so high and so out of his mind, it was like he was out of character.
Okay.
And he said he'd write an apology to the family, and he didn't want to make a circus out of it. He just wanted to go to court and get it over with.
Okay, dude, that's not for you to decide, you fucking asshole. And an apology? Sorry I killed your child. Sorry I tortured, raped,
Sorry I kidnapped, raped, and tortured, and then murdered your baby.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
Here's a letter.
And you can see, like, I watched some of his, like, confession tape, like, his interrogation. And he's just so... His contrition feels a lot like he's sitting in the principal's office and he has to admit that, like, you know, yeah, he did, like, you know, throw a spitball. Or
okay, you got me.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it was just like, yeah, I did a bad thing. I'm a monster. I know.
Oh, my God.
You know?
Uh-huh.
It was so weird.
Ugh.
So... He's charged with aggravated murder and a slew of other charges, and he pleads not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
The trial began on February 1st, 2018. Whitaker's defense was basically he was high.
That's not a defense, but okay.
Yeah, the prosecution said the same thing.
Okay.
And they said that the evidence does not point to a drug-induced frenzy or a blackout, but that he knew exactly what he was doing.
Well, yeah, especially when he's clearly trolling on camera.
He's trolling. He has a bunch of tools.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to tell you which tools. Just imagine tools.
Mm-hmm. No, I got...
Plural.
So did he hang out in this abandoned house? Was that like his spot? Like what?
I never really got that. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
So on February 13th, so it was like 12 days later, I don't know how long they deliberated, but I don't think for very long, the jurors found him guilty of 10 counts, including aggravated murder.
Good.
And on February 23rd, they recommended the death sentence. Mm-hmm. And on March 26th, the presiding judge agreed and sentenced Christopher Whitaker to death. Danisha told the court that, quote, death is too good for him, and I won't believe he has any remorse until he suffers like my daughter suffered. Mm-mm. She told him directly, when you get where you're going to get what you got coming before you get to the gas lethal injection chamber. His death sentence was also supported by the woman he assaulted and spent prison time for prior.
Good.
He was also sentenced to 48 years in prison for aggravated burglary, felonious assault, rape, obstruction of justice, and gross abuse of a corpse.
Oh my God.
I've never understood like getting a death sentence and getting all these. It just never makes any sense to me.
I know. Who knows?
He appealed his death sentence, which was denied in August of 2022, and he is currently scheduled to be executed in July of 2026. Hundreds of people attended Alianna's funeral on February 11th, 2017. Shortly after her murder, Donisha became homeless.
Oh, no.
The three parents of Alianna formed a nonprofit in Alianna's name, the Alianna DeFreeze Let's Make a Change Foundation. It works to address the issues of abandoned houses, help children obtain safe transportation to school, and addresses domestic violence, homelessness, and police community relations.
Wow.
It's kind of a mixed bag. Mm-hmm. In January of 2019, Alianna's parents filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, E-Prep and Village Prep Woodland Hills, Friends of Breakthrough Schools, the City of Cleveland, the man who owned the abandoned house where the murder happened, Christopher Whitaker, and others.
Shit.
According to the lawsuit, there was a system in place in which administrators at ePrep would send an automated message to notify parents with news about their children, including unexcused absences. None of Alianna's parents received this notification. The lawsuit alleges that the school lied when they said they tried to send an alert but failed, and that they should have been immediately concerned about Alianna's absence, in part because of her disability and in part because it was out of her character to miss school.
Yeah.
The lawsuit states that because of the defendant's negligence, Alianna's last hours, quote, were spent in excruciating, paralyzing, debilitating, and unthinkable physical and mental pain.
Uh-oh.
The lawsuit also claims that the city of Cleveland and city employees failed to monitor abandoned properties and prevent illicit activities from occurring in them, and names the owner of the house where the murder occurred, saying that he failed to maintain, operate, and monitor it.
Mm-hmm.
Alianna's family sought $15 million in damages. In March 2019, they filed an amended complaint, which ePrep moved to dismiss. ePrep argued that it is immune from liability due to its status as a political subdivision.
What?
I don't know. Okay. The trial court denied the motion. ePrep appealed to the Ohio Court of Appeals, which ruled in their favor. In January 2022, Alianna's family received $1 million settlement in connection with the lawsuit filed against her school and the city. Damon pushed hard for legislation in Ohio that was signed into law in January of 2018 called the Alianna Alert Bill, which requires schools to call parents within 120 minutes of the start of the school day if their child is absent without the parents having previously notified the school. It went into effect in April 2019.
Wow.
That is the horrible, just disgusting murder of adorable Alianna DeFreeze.
God, sister, that was fucking awful.
Sorry.
Okay. Wow. Ugh.
120 minutes? That's 2 hours?
Yeah.
I guess that's better than not calling at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. That was upsetting.
I'm sorry, sister.
That's okay.
I did my best.
I know. You're doing so good. Okay. Well, do you want to do a hard pivot here?
Yes, please. Okay. Can we just hard...
Oh, shit. What was that?
I was just dropping things.
You just got the dropsy-doos?
Yes.
I've had the dropsy-doos bad for like
Well, I told you, I didn't tell the cast kids. I knocked my knee so hard, like right before I jumped in here, like don't talk to me pain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's happening today. I have no coordination. It's all out the window right now.
I'm sorry. Best to just stay seated. Just stay seated.
Just don't move.
Put your
Keep
hands,
your arms and legs inside the
ride. Just, yeah. Hold on there.
Okay.
All right. So word on the street is that you might know more about this than I do. So feel free to please chime in at any moment.
I don't know if I know more, but I definitely know. Okay. I forgot that you were doing this one.
Oh,
so
yes.
This will be fun.
We're going to do the Ramtha School of Enlightenment. Oh, boy.
I cannot.
Our other sister
made me aware
of this. So thank you for that.
Oh, I guess I just always assumed that if you lived around here, you knew about the Ramthas.
Never heard of the Ramthas.
That's wild.
And I mean, we'll get into it, but according to their website, like their menu of things to choose from, I don't understand what they believe. It's like if it's new agey, it's on there. It's everything and not very focused. It's a chaotic belief system, really.
Okay.
It's like, oh yeah, we do that too. Okay, so
except for the one gal who channels Ramtha.
Oh, we'll talk about her.
Can't remember her name. She's got a man's name almost. I can't remember.
I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah,
you'll
tell me. Okay.
So we're going to Yelm, Washington.
Shout out to my bestie in Yelm who lives right by this compound.
Oh my God, I love it.
I've driven by it multiple times.
Well, I got the online tour.
It has a stone wall around it.
Yeah.
They're not fucking around.
No, they're not fucking around. So Yelm is about 60 miles south of Seattle. And there in Yelm, there is an 80-acre compound for Ramtha's School of Enlightenment called RSC. First established in 1988. Their leader is 76-year-old woman named Jay-Z Knight. There it is. Jay-Z claims that she is a 35,000-year-old Lemurian warrior named Ramtha, the enlightened one. She says that Ramtha teaches her self-development through ancient wisdom and neuroscience. And students of her teaching are taught telepathy, seeing into the past and future, manifesting something out of nothing, and changing your physical body through something called healing with the blue body.
Love it. Sign me up.
3 of the former RSC members wrote, produced, and directed What the Bleep Do We Know? Have you seen that?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Well, you are much further along in this journey than me.
You've never seen What the Bleep Do We Know?
No.
Oh man, that was it made a big splash when it came out. Oh yeah,
Is it good?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's interesting.
Okay.
It's interesting. It's like a combination of quantum physics meets The Secret.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. That's what all this is. So one of these members who left RSC later joined Nexium.
Cult hopping. Cult hopping.
Cult hopping.
Okay.
Couple of well-known people affiliated with group, Selma Hayek and Michael Crichton.
Okay.
So they call the compound the ranch, and the leader, Jay-Z, lives there. She lives in a 13,000 square foot home, and the property was originally her and her ex-husband's horse stables.
Okay.
I had wine, and now I'm slurring my words.
It's perfect.
Okay. So they have a main building used for events called the Great Hall, and they have retreats and conferences that you can participate in as a student. And there are some events that you can attend as a non-student, but it's expensive. So Ramtha's philosophies or teachings or whatever, they have what they call the 4 cornerstones. And these are the statement, you are God, the mandate to make known the unknown, the concept, the consciousness and energy create the nature of reality, and the challenge to conquer yourself.
I mean, look.
I know.
If someone asks you if you are a god, you say yes.
This is how people get in cults, because this is all sounding pretty good to me so far. Oh my God.
I couldn't help it. I just thought of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
What do you mean?
I literally just watched Ghostbusters 2 days ago.
Yep. That if someone calls you a god, you got it. Yep.
If someone asks you if you were a god, you say yes.
You had that as an opener a few weeks ago.
Did I?
Yes.
I don't think I did.
Okay, well, you should.
We'll have to writing it down. Okay.
All right. Well, let's talk about Jay-Z Knight.
Which is okay, keep going.
No, please.
No, it's fine.
Jay-Z was born in 1946 in Roswell, New Mexico as Judith Darlene Hampton. She was described as a blonde beauty. By her late teens, she had already married and had 2 young sons. She's divorced and remarried several times.
Mhm.
And it was her last husband who gave her the last name Knight.
Okay.
She eventually changed her middle name to Zebra,
Sure.
which is where the Jay-Z comes from. It's Judith
Got it.
Zebra.
Got it.
Fucking Judith Zebra? We're just going to
Love
let
it.
that, we're just going to move right along. Okay.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. Actually, it's zebra.
Okay, sorry. I believe it is pronounced Milwaukee. My God. Zebra? Fuck off.
You're welcome.
Jesus Christ.
You said you're just going to let that one slide.
I was like, she named herself Zebra. And you're just like, I'm like, hello? What do you mean?
I mean, some of this shit just speaks for itself. You know, like,
guess.
what do I even say?
Wow. Okay.
It's insane.
It's totally insane. So Zebra dropped out of business school and worked in the cable. Sorry, Zebra.
Thank you.
Fuck. Oh. And she worked in the cable television industry for a long time. And she was known as a really savvy business person. According to Jay-Z, Ramtha first appeared to her in 1977 and shortly thereafter began to speak through her.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
During the late 80s, critics accused her of have some more wine, Amber. Accused her of manipulating. God damn it.
Manipulating.
You know what? This is my third time podcasting today because of my other job. I've been talking for hours. Like my jaw hurts.
Doing so good, sister. Keep going.
I don't ever talk this much.
No.
Critics accused her of manipulating her students.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. God, so good. With images of a fearful future. Uh-huh. Yeah. So they were like doomsday preppers.
How is that any different than evangelicals who believe in fucking Armageddon?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. No.
So, like, why is it problematic when she does it?
Well, because she was faking channeling Ramtha.
It's only okay to fake channeling beings if you're doing it in the name of the Church of Christ.
That's right. That's right.
Just to be clear.
Just to be clear. Ramtha, no. JC, yes. This is JC, not JZ.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So interestingly, though, in 1997, Jay-Z submitted to a series of psychological tests that indicated that her trance state was genuine and that her channeling activity was not symptomatic of mental or emotional illness.
Boom.
Mic drop. Boom. I'll show you. That's amazing. Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh, okay. So the website says that Jay-Z is the great American channel and recognize her as one of the most charismatic and compelling spiritual leaders of the modern age. When she is on stage talking to the students, it's not Judy talking. It's Ramtha. It's Ramtha talking, and she speaks more masculine and with an accent that nobody knows from where, just an accent.
Just some amorphous, nebulous accent.
Somewhere other than Yelm.
Something that isn't a Yelm accent. Got it.
Reminds me of what's her face from the fake DNA, or not the fake blood testing lady.
Yes.
Who spoke like a man so that she would seem
Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah, more powerful. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Ramtha apparently was some dude who lived 35,000 years ago on a continent.
That's right.
Continent called Lemuria.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of dying, He ascended beyond the mortal plane to join a collection of A-list masters that included Jesus, Muhammad, and Buddha.
I'm getting Rael vibes
Yep,
here.
for sure. I'm also getting...
Are there sex robots involved?
No, but there's lizard people.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm also getting...
Okay, so that's like Argon Tiddlywink
Yes,
stuff.
that's what I was...
Okay.
But also the Love is One, because, you know, there was Robin Williams and Elvis and...
Right.
Yeah.
And you were there and you were there and you were there.
She was among the greats.
Yes, yes.
Fuck. And Jay-Z claims to have retrieved memories from Ramtha that told her that she is his daughter.
That totally tracks.
I actually saw you working that out in your mind. Okay, I'm following. Keep going. Keep going. Fuck my life. Okay. So here's what their website says about the property in Yelm. Okay.
Okay.
The region, according to these folks, was part of ancient Lemuria during Ramtha's lifetime, before he migrated to Atlantis and freed his people from tyranny.
Good job, sis.
I'm doing so good. At the age of 14, then went on to conquer 2/3 of the world at the head of an army of 2.5 million. After being run through with a sword during battle, Ramtha sat on a rock and meditated for 7 years, became enlightened, taught his body to vibrate at a high frequency, and ascended like Jesus.
Sounds like the Buddha.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Does Mount Constitution come into this story?
No. What's Mount Constitution?
So Mount Constitution is on Orcas Island.
Mm-hmm.
It is, you can climb it. It's not really a mountain. It's just a giant hill. There's like a watchtower on top that you can climb up onto. And when you get to the top of it, you can get like almost a 360 view of like all of Puget Sound. You can see all the way up into Canada. You can see like the entire coastline of Washington State. It's a very awesome view.
Mm-hmm.
But supposedly Ramtha buried his sword in the top of Mount Constitution.
Okay, I know that you had said that there was like tie-in with Orcas, and I didn't see that anywhere.
Yeah, and apparently there is a contingency of Ramtha followers that live on Orcas, because Orcas is supposed to be like a sacred place, because Mount Constitution, when it was part of the larger continent, we actually call Pangea, before the continent separated however many fucking thousands of years ago. Mount Constitution was like the highest point on the entire continent, and it's like this sacred hill.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's kind of cool. I believe you.
You believe me that Ramtha buried his sword in Mount Constitution?
I believe that that's what you read.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you enroll in the school as a beginning student, you undergo a 6-day retreat. So you're camping on the lawn or even like sleeping on yoga mats in the auditorium. Pre-pandemic prices ranged from like $450 for an in-person class, and now like the online classes are $720.
It's almost twice the price for an online class than it was for in-person.
For post-pandemic. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
And just for a 1-day lecture from Zebra costs $150.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So besides hearing from Ramtha, attendees do mental exercises meant to strengthen their mind toward clairvoyance. So a teacher will like hide an object and a student will sketch what they sense has been hidden.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me that they were going to play Huckle Buckle Beanstalk.
They sort of do. There's also there's some blindfolding. You can watch the videos on the website.
Okay.
There's some blindfolding and running around.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they hide a picture and then you draw what you or you hide an object and you draw a picture of what you sense it might be.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Before students enroll, they need to sign a legal agreement not to share Jay-Z's lectures or messages.
Mm-hmm.
In one online video lecture that has since been removed, Jay-Z is teaching her students, and here's some quotes.
Okay.
About Jews.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Fuck God's chosen people. I think they have earned enough cash to have paid their way out of the goddamn gas chambers by now.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
She said that out loud.
Yeah.
To be recorded.
Yep.
And put on her website.
Oh, it's been removed.
But it was there.
It was there. Mm-hmm.
The internet is forever.
Yep.
Boys and girls. Okay.
Mhm. About Mexicans, she says they breed like rabbits and are poison.
This is a very enlightened woman, you
Yep.
guys.
Mhm. And she also says that all gay men were once Catholic priests and that organic farmers have questionable hygiene. She don't like anybody.
What the fuck?
Don't act like you don't know.
What?
Yeah. She's got to throw in organic farmers into that. I don't know.
I don't.
hmm
Okay.
So apparently she's super involved in the community in Yelm
Mhm.
and in Thurston County in general. Does Courtney know Zebra?
I don't think
She's
she
seen her
knows
beat bopping
no.
around town.
Her eldest, Courtney's eldest, when quite a few years ago now, one of the first places he ever rented when he first left home was a room in a house that was owned by the Ramtha organization.
No.
And it was like a little castle.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
That actually kind of sounds fun. Minus the Ramtha part, like the little castle.
Well, I don't think that it was like actually part of the compound or whatever. I think it's just property that they own. It's like basically rental. They're landlords.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
They just own most of the town, right?
Well, I don't think they own most of the town. I don't think that's true.
Mm. Well,
But they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was just like income property. It was like passive income for them.
and it's in the shape of a little castle.
Mm-hmm.
That's really fun. I want to live in a little castle.
I mean, Courtney did say it was kind of cool.
Yeah, that is kind of cool. Okay, well, I'll allow it. So, well, she has a lot of economic pull in the community because it's a really small town and her members and purchases make up a lot of Yelm's economy.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. So let's go back to this blue body thing.
Yeah, let's.
Okay, this is one of her trademark terms.
right.
Mhm. The blue body is the body that belongs to the fourth plane of existence, Naomi.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It bridges consciousness and the ultraviolet frequency band.
Mm-hmm. I'm tracking.
Great. I'm glad one of us is. The blue body discipline is that it lifts the student's conscious awareness to the fourth plane and stimulates the fourth seal for the purpose of healing or changing the physical body.
Oh, heal your brain, heal your body.
That's
or something.
Dr. Amen. Change your brain, change your life.
No, that's a different one.
Okay.
You can heal yourself. You can heal your life. Oh, that's Louise M. Hay. That's
Uh-huh.
Louise M. Hay stuff. You can heal your life. And it's very like, yes,
Mhm.
mind body connection. You have cancer because you have, childhood trauma or whatever.
Oh, that's dangerous. That's very dangerous to tell people.
very.
Mhm. So Zebra has a whole bunch of phrases that she has trademarked.
Okay.
Some of them are CNE, which is consciousness and energy, blue body,
Right.
twilight,
I'm sorry. She trademarked the word Twilight.
apparently. Mhm.
I don't believe it.
Well, the neighborhood walk, Gladys,
Like Night and the Pips.
not taking questions at this time. Fuck if I know. Create your day,
Okay.
and analogical archery.
Just because she puts the little TM symbol next to a thing doesn't mean she actually trademarked it.
Well, apparently she's pretty Sue happy.
Yeah, but you can't just look, as somebody who has tried to trademark things,
Mhm.
it is actually incredibly difficult
Yeah.
to get approved for trademark,
Mhm.
especially for very generic things like the name Gladys.
Yeah, and twilight.
Right. I am dubious that she actually has these things trademarked. Very dubious.
Mhm, mhm. So there are a bunch of ex-members that have formed different support groups.
Sure.
One of them is called Enlighten Me Free.
Okay.
One of these former members is Jay-Z's former personal bodyguard.
Oh.
Another one is her ex-husband, Jeff Knight.
Okay.
Mhm. So Glenn, the bodyguard, says that he saw people showing up to the school who were sick and looking for answers, like
Mhm.
women battling cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay-Z would just hug them and tell them they were free. You're free. You're free of the disease.
Oh, she felt the spirit running all through her.
Ramtha has cleansed you. Ugh. Mhm.
Oh my God.
And of course, one of these women later ended up dying from
Sure.
lack of treatment.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They also said that they never actually saw Jay-Z do anything supernatural or unexplainable, and says that she is just a very charismatic person who initially you want to be around until you get to know her and then you don't.
Isn't it always the way?
Of course.
Yeah.
They also said that she's a drama queen.
Sure. You have to bring drama to this whole thing. Otherwise, who's compelled, you know?
Her ex-husband, Jeff, met Jay-Z because he was a former student at RSE. Jay-Z was married to her previous husband at the time, and she told Jeff that Ramtha told her that her and Jeff were soulmates and they needed to be together.
I mean, Ramtha said so.
What Ramtha says goes.
Right.
Yeah. Another former member was David McCarthy. He refers to Jay-Z Knight as a spiritual predator. He said that the school was all about intimidation and control.
Sounds like a cult to me.
Mm-hmm. He was a student from 89 to 96, and he said that Jay-Z taught that Jehovah would return to Earth in a spaceship accompanied by a reptilian entourage.
This is like a marriage of like Argon Tiddlywinks lady and Rael.
It's
this
everything.
Is like it's right. Mm-hmm. It's a grab bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She said that the lizard people would feed on human prey who did not follow under Ramtha's protection.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's just like a rebranding of Christianity.
Exactly. The end days
you'll
are
go
coming.
To hell. Yeah, the end days are coming. You go to hell if you don't repent and accept Jesus Christ into your heart. Like you got to pick the winning side or you're doomed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Zebra. Right. So apparently there was a woman in Berlin named Judith Ravel. I don't know what's with all the Judiths.
Where's a lot of Judiths here?
And she claimed that she was channeling Ramtha.
Oh, another Judith. Maybe Ramtha was getting the wrong message to the wrong Judith.
Got the wrong Judith.
So sorry. I didn't mean you. I meant the other Judith.
So sorry. As you were. I'm just going to... My God, can you imagine?
Yes.
Your channeler just dips out, goes to Berlin.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So Jay-Z took this Judith to court and won the copyright to Ramtha's teachings.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Another former member named White Wind Weaver.
Will you say that 3 more times?
I don't.
Really quickly?
I'm surprised that I was able to say it once. White Wind Weaver.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Mm-hmm. She went rogue and held her own Ramtha teachings, and Jay-Z sued her as well.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So this school is still very much open for business. You can register as a new student starter program if you'd like. It consists of 6 modules: Introduction to Ramtha's School of Enlightenment, Ramtha's Model of the Nature of Reality, Study of the Brain as Divine Architect and Creator of Reality, Ramtha's Teaching on Frequency, Consciousness, and Levels of Mind, Neurogenesis and Neuroplasticity in the Brain, Study and Application of the Body's Electromagnetic Field.
Let's sign up.
Yep. These modules are held over 6 consecutive days. And once you complete the new student modules, you are eligible to participate in all of the other events that Zebra has to offer. And there are
at a price.
At a price. Yep. That's fucking Ramtha's School of Enlightenment.
You know, the thing about this is like, they're like all about enlightenment, vibrating to another dimension, you know, like higher consciousness, all this shit, right? And then it's like, you can have all that, but you got to pay us.
For the low, low price of $9.99 a month. Yeah.
Right? And then they are so quick to like weaponize federal agencies against people who it's, you know, we're going to sue you. 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 It's like, what are we doing? There's nothing spiritual about any of this.
No. Yeah.
Like true spiritual practices, real true spiritual practices are organic. They're passed on to each other like through organic ways and means, and they are not monetized in a capitalist system.
No. And you would kind of like a lot of her teachings to me sound like sort of just letting things pass and trusting that the universe will right itself. You know, so why can't you do that?
Right.
You know? Whitewater,
Yes.
whatever, is doing her thing. Just if you think that was wrong, karma will come. Just you do you, boo.
Just you do you.
Mhm.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
It's wild.
it is wild.
And then what's wild to me is that people don't recognize that. They think that it's okay that they're paying hundreds of dollars for enlightenment.
Yeah. They need to go
You
just sit
know?
on a beach for free or
Right.
whatever. Sit on the
For
top of that
whatever,
mountain.
yes.
Yeah. mhm.
You know, you can get books at the library for
Mhm.
nothing.
Yeah.
Mm.
The thing that makes cults so gross is that most often people are really in a bad way and are desperately looking for some
Yes.
answers. And that is the predatory nature of it. That is.
Yes, they are preying
Mhm.
on desperate people with real physical and emotional issues that they're looking for solutions
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. It's gross.
Or they're looking for community.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we have community for you if you pay us.
Yeah. We'll all play Huckabucka Beanstalk together. Give me $750 and
Right.
let's go. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Thank you for that,
You're
sister.
welcome.
That was a good time.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Oh, we did
we
it.
sure
Another one
did.
on the books.
Whoop, whoop.
Every time we finish, I feel really proud of us. You know?
Yeah. Samesies. And you should feel proud.
I really should.
You know what?
I made it.
We did it.
We totally did it. You know what, you guys? We do bonus episodes every month over on the Patreon for Chaos Kids Club members. It's $5 a month, and you get access to the bonus content, and you get new episodes a day early every week. Plus, every once in a while, we have virtual wine nights where we hang out.
Yeah.
And we have a good fucking time.
We just had one, and it was a good time.
It was so fun.
Mhm.
So go on over and join the club. You don't even have to pay. If you want to just like see what we post over there that's not behind the paywall, you can join the Patreon for free and just get in on the conversation.
Yep.
We'd love to have you over there. And, you know, type us a review or give us a rating wherever you listen to us. That helps a lot with people finding us.
Mm-hmm. It sure does. And we love it.
Mhm. And we
Makes our
do love
days.
It totally makes our days. So, oh my God, sister.
I love you.
That was so chaotic.
So chaotic.
I love you.
Love you,
Bye.
bye. Crime, Wine, and Chaos is produced by 8th Direction Records. Artwork by Joshua M. Davis. Music by Paul Abner. If you would like to support the show, you can visit our Patreon page at crimewineandchaos.com/Patreon. Cheers.
I don't even know. As the dress,
Conscience.
heal your mind, heal your mind, change your